my brothers has recently gone to heaven, but I still dedicate this story to my brothers. Growing up with two older brothers can be tough for a little girl. Growing up on a farm with them offered more places to continue the tease of the day. Big cornfields to hide in and surprise, and wooded areas to torture and tease. Well, I'm not sure about the torturing. That's kind of my 3-year-old memory. It felt like torture. I'm sure they didn't really torture me. Except for one very special Christmas. Christmas Eve, 1949. I was all of 3 years old. It was a perfect day, and everything was in place for a Walton holiday. I think us who grow up on farms or on have the simplicity of rural life know about these holidays. My mother had baked all day, and the house smelled of cinnamon and chocolate, and my dad wrapped the most beautiful, shiny presents with big puffy bows. Everything seemed big and bright to me then. For some unknown reason, my brothers were on their best behavior all day. I was allowed to play checkers and marbles, which I was usually off base for me because I was too little. This miracle surely wasn't happening to me, was it? Even though it was the day before Christmas, would they be able to maintain this kind of mercy toward me all day? I didn't think so at the time. The magic hour arrived. It was time to leave for church. It had snowed all day, so we didn't all jump into the old cold Packard. Do any of you remember those old cars with the bench seats? I always had to sit between my brothers, the two tormentors. We opted for better winter transport. My dad thoughtfully brought out our huge wooden sled, which I think of as a toboggan. I'm sure it was just a regular sled. We all wrapped up tighter than the presents to stay warm, and I wore the bright red wool coat my mother had made for me with fluffy white fur around the hood. Shana will agree that a princess look was always provided for me. My parents carried pies and cakes, balancing carefully as they waded through the deep snow. I was placed on the sled. Where else would a princess sit with all the presents? And my dad said, I can't tell where you are and where the presents are. It was perfect. My brothers took turns pulling the sled, which I thought was a bad idea when we started out. It could have been a string of tragedies, dumped in the snow, pummeled by snowballs, anything that would have left me cold, wet, and unhappy. Never was there a hint. It was hooray for Christmas Eve then. Children who live on the farm, even young ones, are blessed with a special eye for the beauty of nature. The full moon on the snow was a Rockwell moment waiting to be captured. I searched the diamond stars in the velvet sky for Christmas, starred long ago. Even the boots crunching in the snow had kind of a rhythm to them. Church was full of candles competing with the sky. As with most gatherings, we started with food, and I do mean food. I found that even a little tummy can get too full. I wanted to compete with the adults. They didn't have anything over me. However, I think I got a lot of Christmas cookies, as somebody else who likes Christmas cookies knows. Food tables were empty and all our Christmas hymns were sung. We listened to the Christmas story with such peace. I discovered my first and only real superhero arrived as a small baby in a stable. That must be the reason I kept looking into the barn for a baby sister. Never had one, but I figured babies came in barns or stables. For a brief moment, the magic was broken. With just a few words, my lower lip quivered and my eyes fought the tears. Gifts were supposed to be given out, and my mother explained because I was so little, which were the dreaded words, I might not get a gift. I really wasn't a member of the church. Oh, I sank down in the pew and was unhappy. But I won't keep you in suspense. The very last name was called mine. Mine, mine, mine. I was getting a present. My present was a doll dress. It was strangely made of familiar fabric and fit my best doll perfectly. Our kind pastor, who seemed like Santa that night, lifted me up for the whole congregation to share his last words for the evening. After a few ho-ho-hos, he proclaimed, God bless our church and Merry Christmas. I didn't recognize that Tiny Tim moment then because I didn't know about Tiny Tim. After a sleepy sled ride home, I closed out that special eve with a quick kiss goodnight. I swear I had visions of sugar plums in my head. I'm so thankful to God for my parents and that special Christmas. You might want to also know that as an adult, I expressed to my brothers much gratitude for their teasing. It taught me to stand up for myself. So I say to you, God bless my brothers and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.